10-4 trouble. Trucktober rolls on. We are one video in and I reckon it's time to get the baddies out. Cause we love Optimus Prime, but isn't there something so compelling about a big horrible juggernaut made out of hate whose sheer mass and devastating diesel power could bruise the night itself? And also it's coloured like neon snot? Yes indeed, let's bring the truckers with the quintessential 1990s truck what is a baddie. It's Transformers Generation 2 Clench, who incidentally is the main reason I didn't call this month Optobermus Prime. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. But first, this video is what? Sponsored by Rogue Limb! It's my band! We've done an album! Yes gang, I am deliriously pumped to say that I've gone and got me drums out and teamed up with my mate Greg, who's an absolute riff machine, and we have stood in some very filthy alleyways to bring you our first album, Actus Reus. Ooh, serious. It's 9 tracks of blasting hardcore, absolutely crammed with sick-ass grooves, shredding vocals, and huge spin kick breakdowns. This is not a Transformers gimmick band, okay? It came out of a whole other hemisphere. No puns, no Stan Bush covers, no songs about Galvatron. This is hideous, and I love it, and I hope you will too. Here's precisely 2 seconds of each song. So step on over to roguelimb.bandcamp.com and bag the album on CD or digital, or give it a stream on Spotify, Deezer, iTunes, I think, Apple Music, all the main ones. I don't know how much crossover there is between, like, my Transformer crew and the underground hardcore scene, but I'd appreciate it if you give us a shot. Thank you. I love you. Rogue Limb! So today's captivating cargo crusher is G2 Colossus, aka Clench. Oh, I've never liked that his name's an instruction. And aside from some very paltry aftershocks in the 2000s, Clench's story kind of begins and ends in 1993 as a criminally underused obliterator. Obliterator? I barely knew her. And to my mind, Clench is one of the earliest examples of good Decepticon truck rep. I mean, they're everywhere now. You got Scourge, Nova Prime, Scourge, but back then there was pretty much just Motormaster, maybe Onslaught at a push. The Decepticon road crew was very sparse, so the arrival of a heavily armed, black-hearted roadhog like this was exciting, man. Well, I always remember thinking it'd make a more suitable adversary for Optimus than Megatron does. Not necessarily the main threat, but like a good opposite number, you know? A mirror match. And maybe it would have been a vibe if they'd ever done anything with him. But yes, Big Judy Clench here is a solid thirst-clenching slurp of sizzling 90s acid neon, oozing new wave nastiness, and an arresting unconventionality. He's such a weird shape and such a barely functioning mishmash of motifs that it almost feels like something not from Transformers. Like, check it out, that chest is not part of the vehicle. It's an almost unrelated and very intriguing alien-esque design, with these spooky semi-organic curves and some lingering mechanical bits mashed into the waist, fronted by this big weird capital Y chest plate, decked out in mysterious murky stickers that almost look like Predator vision, like a laser tag changing room, a couple of low green titties there that almost enhance his weapon platform, which we'll get to, because excuse me while I obsess over the deco. Clench's colours are just dynamite, man! Look at all this wonderful neon pink and green, contrasting with the gorgeous speckled midnight blue that shimmers like a starfield within his very skin. Got all of those dumbass G2 stickers. That is pure triple distilled 90s nonsense. But look at these big dumb electroshock high voltage thunderbolts with the crosshairs over, what is that, a dog horse? Oh yeah, the famous Autobot dog horse. You may notice as well, no Decepticon badges. And I don't know if that matters, but I did clock it on Fear Swoop as well. Swords and zaps and that. It just doesn't feel very Transformers-y. Like leftovers from Visionaries or something. Anyway, face is phenomenal! I see we've moved on from mouth plates and we're fully embracing ventilators. Lad's got that Darth Vader breathalyzer drip. And unreal light piping. Like benchmark light piping. Straight up searing through that crested crown helmet. Don't love that it's completely immobile. All but super glued to that precarious plank spanning the body void between his breastplate and these weird back of head vertical slabs. Like, I think that's where they go. They don't really look intentional, but they do look sort of cool in a ballsy, graceless kind of way. Same. Gotta say, these massive shoulder nose halves are a very odd move. They're such a statement and such a gamble, given that they are overwhelmingly clumsy, but I think the hard faces and cool colours just about tip them over into badass. While the arms proper are just poking out like naked neon alien flesh breaching the disguise, and the legs are pure wacko, man. Like with the doors folding inwards from the front to form the faces of the shins. I've never seen that elsewhere. Got these big gleamy smokestacks just on the side of the boots. The feet are almost incidental, and the thighs are pure smooth-brained turbo-fried power pink, clanked up on both ends with chonky-ass ratchets. There is actually more articulation than you'd think. Knees, hips, elbows, shoulders. So we've moved on from Target Masters, but not by much. It's all 2D. It's G2, but it ain't Laser Rod. And between that type of rusty robo move and the enormous shoulders, he almost never looks cool. Look at this awkward sod. He's just not a prime killer. He's more like the Stalker to Megatron's Skyquake. A minor boss by design who'd be nothing without his big-ass weapon. And I mean that sincerely. Oh, let's go. First of all, this rules, alright? Rodimus Prime wishes he was this badass. It just has such a huge presence and demands so much room. Look at this evil, like, robo-ostrich claw screaming out the front. We got this swish little auto-flip targeting reticle. It's just a perfect little workstation. And the launcher itself is mighty impressive. Just a huge industrial cuboid canister of a thing. And it is crazy powerful. For the longest time, I just didn't think it worked. But it turns out you gotta cant it backwards and go for the lob. Call that a clench in impact. But what I love about this whole setup is that it feels so personal to him. Purpose-built for his height and physique. The handles there are perfectly positioned for his big pink paws. Even the blaster barrels seem to echo the indents on his innards. This is property of Clench. Just a shame that it's all he's got. No blaster or sword. I'd be so much happier if he had one more accessory. I love him so much, but I do recognize that he's just shy of being a true all-timer. He may not be the big bad, but he's kind of a big deal. Transformation is very weird. It feels like the work of a new team with just a slightly different ethos to the old school establishment. Like the roof is super weird, the legs wrap and swoosh wildly. It's all a bit clumsy but fascinating. And the guy himself just forms like the front 45% of the truck. It's not like an Optimus where the bot is the truck and then also there's a trailer. Without his battle platform, Clench just doesn't have a complete alt mode. But when it hits, it does not f*** about. Big Sid Clenchman here serves us a legendary truck mode. An absolute battering ram of a six-wheeled shitheel, screaming through the night and sparkling like fool's gold. Check out its monstrous long-nose moxie. Incredible ridged-out solid tires, like the settings icon. Love the clueless Eurojank license plate. That's not how that works. And the stickers really elevate the 90s neon style. Like that sweet pink gradient, giving it the synthwave speed illusion. So what is it, a garbage truck? A heavy-duty courier with an ugly-ass shipping crate and an ineffectual grabby claw? I don't know, but it looks dope, and it's incontrovertibly one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Isn't there something very Twisted Metal about it? It blows every other Deceptor truck out the water. Motormaster looks positively feeble. It's kind of got a similar vibe to Onslaught, but 10 times beefier. Similar colors, same kind of nose. They're just kindred bastard spirits. And like seeing these together really does make that ultra class BotCon repaint make sense. This is such wish fulfillment for 10-year-old Thew. And in this mode, I reckon it faces up to Optimus pretty great. Like, I can picture the highway chase. It looks just as powerful, but seems more agile without that massive trailer bogging it down. And perhaps you've noticed, not a sniff of robot kibble. We love Laser Prime, but hands, hips, feet, not great. Clench is friggin' clean, man. This is simply one of the great Transformer trucks, and I just need you to see it. It's so good, so unflinchingly striking and inexhaustibly appealing that it cancels out his mild ropiness in the other forms, not to mention his irrelevance as a character. I don't think they've ever done a thing with him as a guy outside of some, like, crowd filler moments, and honestly, Good. Not every rando needs fleshing out. He doesn't need to matter. He can be a goon. I love those. Because as a toy, as an experience, Clench is wonderful. It looks amazing. The playability's there. It's instantly recognizable in its own way, and crucially, singularly G2. This is the new blood, you know? The next step. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. Niche reference, but the Kenner King Alien is what this reminds me of. This is the King Alien of Transformers. It was just something totally new, pretty big, loaded with 90s attitude and rad-ass play features, invented whole cloth for the toy aisle, not something you've seen in the movie or in some other previous thing. Oh, it's Ultra Magnus's crazy sister. This is the new regime for 1993, using the formula you know to blow your mind almost from scratch. It feels fresh and dangerous, it hits hard, and it hits different. So cheers for watching, I guess. Shoutouts to Thew for the bargain and to Ben Waspshot for the missiles. And until next time, you may unclench. Catch you later, obliterator. Oh, there it is. October week 2 in the bag, baby. Cheers so much for watching. Thank you to all the new viewers who've come in from Unicron and PulseCon and whatnot. Hi. Please do check out Rogue Limb if you get a minute. I'm very proud of it and it would mean a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if you hate it, but please do give it a shot. Thank you so much. Anyway, big love to the Patreon crew, especially this time Kieran Hurley. Thank you, buddy. All right, back to it, baby. There's more to do yet. And away.
Be sure to subscribe for more Thew's awesome Transformers reviews. Robocentric vocabulgasm.